Terry just got a dead battery if you got an extra.
Give him a couple of weeks. I think he's pretty proficient at changing batteries.
I just won't say anything today, how's that? And two of us. Three of us. I go over there.
Thanks, John.
Why break it? You gotta have.
Did it slide out?
Okay, everything's on.
Yeah, how do you get this in?
On the side, there's a little,
The cab, you gotta slide up?
yeah, you gotta slide it up, and then,
Yeah,
Yeah, both sides.
both sides at the same time.
That was easy.
You ready, gentlemen? Good. Bill?
Yep.
Guys ready? John?
Yes, sir.
Madam Clerk?
yeah, I'm ready. Everything's going.
What was that? Vernon-Town Board Supervisors meeting for December 6, 2018, 16, or 6 p.m. Come to order. All rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Chairman Thomas Byrd,
Present.
Supervisor Jeff Millies,
President.
Supervisor Gary Wildy,
Present.
Supervisor Ed Moline,
Present.
Supervisor Bill Craig.
Present.
Mr. Chairman, note for the record that you do have a quorum of your town board, and John Henneberry, DPW Director, is here also.
All right, thank you. Open meeting compliance.
Mr. Chairman, the agenda was posted inside and outside the Vernon-Town Hall to the media, to businesses within the town of Vernon, and on the town of Vernon's website as a courtesy or in full compliance with the open meetings law.
All right, item 5, possible closed session. The town board may convene into closed session under Wisconsin Stat 19.85, Friend 1, Friend G, conferring with legal counsel for the governing body who is rendering oral or written services concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is likely to become involved. More specifically, the Lucklow annexation, unanimously approved by the Village of Big Bend, and Ryan and Sherry Lynn summons complaint. Included in the closed session will be the town board, town clerk, town attorney available by telephone. The motion will require a roll call vote. All right, item 6, public comments. Are there any public comments? Any public comments? The record show there are no public comments. Item 7, miscellaneous matters. Following matters to be discussed and possible action taken by the town board unless otherwise noticed. Item A, rescinding a motion from November 1, 2018, approving the extension of the developer's agreement for Harvest View developer. Okay. We're gonna need to rescind that motion before we do approve another one, the next motion. So I'm gonna make a motion to rescind.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Let the record show, Madam Clerk.
Got it? Yes, sir.
Okay, item B. Approve and authorize town chairman to sign the extension of the developer's agreement for Harvest View. So,
Back again.
so, you wanna explain what's going on here?
Sure,
You wanna state your name so everybody,
Sure, Jim Doring with Town Corporate Park of Big Bend LLC, also with Zilver Limited, Town Realty, and Homes by Town, and the rest of the LLCs out there. After this board had approved the extension through the development agreement and amendment number 5. Our attorney had a chance to look at the agreement and found some inconsistencies, not the right word, structure in the agreement that was somewhat misleading. She believes that the beginning whereas section should refer to our amendment number 4, and it wasn't doing that because it was referring to the numbers that you approved for amendment number 5. And basically, that's all that language is cleaning that up. That way, if we have any future amendments, we're in the right structure. Referencing the previous amendment in the whereas sections, and then going to what the agreement was in the lower sections under the now therefore portion. I provided to Karen a black line version, which I'm hoping that you see, and the minor changes that were made. Again, the changes were referring back to amendment number 4 and the numbers and the action that this board took at that time reflecting that. The now therefore is the actions that we had requested and you had approved at your previous meetings, and we're respectfully requesting agreement with this amended developers agreement to those such changes.
Okay, gentlemen?
I would go right and see changes other than the dates are the same, amount was toyed with but remained the same, so look fine to me.
I want to ask this so this is on the record. Do you want to have the attorney look at this?
I think after this, I think we should.
With their rewording?
Just a rewording to make sure that, you know, that we're on the same page as their attorney.
Chuck?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Ed?
No, go ahead.
Bill?
Yeah, I would feel more comfortable.
Okay, then the motion will say that this will be, approval, basically, or approval per Attorney Macy's, review. I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Opposed?
Yeah, our attorney has worked with Attorney Macy before, so I'm sure they'll communicate if there's any questions.
Yeah.
We just doing this to protect our.
Most definitely.
Okay.
I thought that would happen.
We don't play ball with lawyers.
I don't either. Thank
Jim,
you.
do you want me to send it? Is your attorney sending it to John, or do you want me to send it to John and copy you and you copy your, okay.
If you could send it to John,
Okay.
copy me, and then I'll get our attorney involved in any conversation. that's
Okay,
necessary.
sounds good. He didn't find a lot of issues, but,
Okay, no, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night and happy holidays.
Yeah,
All right,
thank you.
The holiday's coming up.
The home is not far.
Is hunting season a holiday?
No deer, no ducks, no turkey.
All right. So request to reduce right-of-way setback on Maple Avenue. Item C.
Mr. Lee Schwain is here.
You want to come up to the microphone, please, and state your name?
It doesn't really matter to
Nothing
me.
on it, I saw.
It's just showing 2. It shows 33 feet, and then it shows 50 feet. So whatever the neighbors are, we should be the same.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Do you have any input on this, John?
I don't really know much about it.
Okay.
Well, I know they're all over the map, because Tom's quite a bit different than me, we're right next to each other, that's because his farm was split, and the setback changed for whatever.
Yeah, you go up Center Drive here, it varies, it goes out to the
All
center
over.
line of the road, back to 30 feet, and
Right.
it's all
But it's not
over.
all 30 all over,
No.
it's, yeah, 50, 30,
Yep.
yeah.
But in this case, it's both of them on my property, like 5 feet
So you
apart.
got two different
Yeah.
center points.
On the same property?
That's a little strange. Was it divided at one time, or? Do you know?
It used to be part of Potter's property. We bought 8.5
Okay.
acres off of them, but then we had this drawn up.
And I don't know why they have two different easements.
I wonder why they didn't change it at that time. Your attorney said something about that.
Yeah, what's he got to say?
Requires a vacation?
Okay, I'll read what Attorney Mason
Vacated.
says, this requires a vacation for the dedicated right-of-way under the state statute. The town board cannot do it by a simple motion. So we have to follow the law, we have to follow the statute. There's a procedure that must be followed. Also, the town board may want to direct the request to meet with the village to get village input as to whether the village will want the road to be 100 feet in width sometime in the future, since the lands and the road will ultimately be in the village. So if it goes down to 33,
Yeah.
and they wanna put a wider road in there, then they'll have to pay
Extra.
because of the easement.
Yeah.
Now, why do you want it changed?
I just wanna know which one it should be. Is it supposed to be 33 or 50? Why, why do they have two on there?
What you've gotta do is, if we're changing anything on right of way, it's gonna change your legal description, which will affect your title policy. So you've gotta get out your old deed or title policy and see how that describes your property. These were, what we call old meets and bounds descriptions in the old days when this was plotted out, and they usually were measured off the center line. Not always consistently, but they were. And then when someone does a certified map, then the state requires you to measure off the property line. So we're looking, I'm sure this is based, okay, yeah,
That's weird.
that is, yeah.
That's just plain
So
weird.
any change to that, and the attorney put it really well here, I think, because what you're doing is actually changing your legal description. So it may mean going back to the surveyor and clarifying, we don't have a copy of your title policy, but you'd have to look at that, and that would tell you, when you purchased it, how the legal description was defined. So if you were to sell next month, let's say, someone drafts a deed with a new setback on, or a new right-of-way line, let's say, that changes your legal description. So the question will come up, which is right, the old or the new?
So my title policy should say,
That would tell you what you're insured for as far as legal description. And that should say, through center line of Maple Avenue or something to that effect. And that won't tell you your setback, but it'll show you where your legal description is coming from.
You almost have to lay out the boundaries on your own and figure out
Yeah.
where you're at. So what Tom was mentioning, from the leader, lawyer's perspective, is we have a border agreement working with Wando right now, and that property in 30 years or so will probably, 20 or 30 years will fall within that. So we wouldn't want to set something in motion now that's going to be changed, cost you money down the road. If they, when they come in, if they want to put a wider road in there with sewer and water and all that good stuff later on. So that's something you probably want to check with their board on as well, to make sure that we're not changing something that's going to change back again. It could turn out to be kind of a mess down the road.
wouldn't it be the same as it was before I got the land?
Not necessarily. Their zoning, now, that's the question I got. They agreed to stick with our zoning for the 30 years, but after that, they can do pretty much anything they want, right?
Well, they have to, if the land doesn't go in for 30 years, they have to use our 30 years.
For the 30 years, but after that.
Are you in the
now they-
20 year or the 30 year? The
20.
year.
So,
What I'm saying, I bought the land from my neighbor, so whatever it was for him, it should still be for me.
No, it's what's on your description.
Oh,
You have to, your legal description says both?
no, I'm saying that flat.
This,
Oh, okay. I'll have to look at the legal description.
yeah, because they're, I don't wanna say that the surveyor made an error, but a lot of times these maps are copied, and then some things are not taken off that should be. Like that 33 might be the original, but when you split the land and came here with the plan commission, they may have, when did you buy that?
14 years ago?
Yeah. See, I bought a piece of property here in the town from a man called Elroy Acker. I am 50 foot from the center of the setback, and that was per plan commission. So, and that was back in 88, I bought that?
I live right next door to it, mine's 30.
Yeah. And that was per the plan commission wanted a 50-foot setback from the center of the road. So, I would say you'd have to go to, because mine, I know, this jarred my memory, and I went and looked back and looked at my legal description and my plat, and there's 33 feet on there and 50 feet, but my description says 50 feet.
What causes that, Tom? The irregularities?
They don't they don't erase that stuff.
Oh.
They just draw over it. They should erase it, yes, but they don't. It's the legal description, like Bill says, that
So is he?
trumps everything.
You gotta sit there and figure out your north,
Does he have
south,
to
east,
get
and
it,
west bound.
does he have to get a resurvey?
No,
No?
it should be,
Read it.
he's just asking which one is it.
Yeah,
So it should be on his, right, Bill?
on your regular legal description of your property?
It cannot buy,
Right.
it can't be
And that-
both.
Right.
The most accurate description, like I say, would be on your title policy, which your neighbor should have provided when you bought that other parcel. And that would have the exact description on, you really can't just change it, you've gotta go through a process.
Right, there's statutes for vacating that. That's what he's talking, Attorney Mason's talking about, of vacating, okay? It's a process, and attorneys are involved, and it's costly. We just can't do it here, just say, okay, it's 33.
So it doesn't really matter then what it says on that piece of paper, it's what it says on my legal description. Okay.
That's your title insurance.
Yeah, the title.
Okay.
Bill, can he get that at the Register of Deeds office?
Did I,
Would Mr. Swaney be able to go to the Register of Deeds and get all that information?
could sure get the legal description, yeah, the old, like I say, meets and bounds, they call it, the old dimensions, you're going so far northeast by so far southwest and so on. That's what we call meets and bounds. I didn't get a look at that other document, was that other document floating around, was that a, yeah. Parcel 3 of a CSM, so this,
But if you can't find your title, it's gotta be registered with the Waukesha County.
the register of deeds wouldn't have title.
They wouldn't have title?
No, they'd have the old deeds,
Okay,
and the deeds is, the title company's getting their legal off the deeds.
okay.
So if you go to register of deeds, they won't have a title policy, they'll tell them you'd like to get a copy of the deed, and you can give them the 2 key numbers, and probably won't charge you anything for that. But this was an update here, August of '03. You might, yeah, you might start with the surveyor and ask them about the discrepancy. This was an update from the old original. And this is showing, center line looks like, wow, looks like 33 feet. And less on the southwest side of the road. Looks like you got 50 on the one side and 20 some on the other side. So they would be the good ones, because I'm sure they've got an accurate drawing there.
Okay.
But if need be, I'd go to the register of deeds and give them the 2 tax parcel numbers off your tax bill. And they will give you a copy of the deed for each one of those.
Well, actually, this one here is, the one is my neighbor. This is mine, I only have one tax number for this.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, but I bought it from the guy that was here.
Yeah,
Okay,
so, yeah, it seems like a simple issue, but it's not, and you don't wanna try to sell something down the road and you've got two conflicting descriptions.
right,
Yeah, so,
okay,
good luck.
all right, thank you.
Item D, Plan Commission recommendation to town board to consider a rezoning request. RZ 16 for Anthony Scafidi. And South 51 West 23811 Turnpike, Waukesha, Wisconsin, on behalf of Catherine Woodor, owner of the property at South 53 West 24595 Glendale Avenue. Okay, pending area-wide rezone due to a recent navigable determination places the subject property entirely within the county shoreline jurisdiction and identifies the area not previously subject to county zoning on the property as RRD5. The current request is to rezone portions of the subject property from the RRD5 district to B3 General Business District. The land zoned HG, which is high groundwater, and ECO, which is Environmental Corridor Overlay, and C1 Conservancy District, are not proposed to change. All right, gentlemen. Now, we had a recommendation from the Plan Commission. I'll read item D here. The Plan Commission recommended to the town board to consider the rezone request for Anthony Scafidi. On behalf, pending a wide rezone due to recent navigable determination. So, Ed, you weren't here for that, and Gary, you weren't here for that, but we got a recommendation from the Plan Commission to do the rezone. Okay. I'm gonna read the motion. The motion was made by Supervisor Jess Millies and move the Plan Commission recommend approval to the town board for the rezoning request for Anthony Scafidi. Pending blah, 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 that's the same thing I read. It was seconded by Merle Wagner. Motion carried by unanimous vote. So,
But there was a condition on that the petitioner present a site plan of operation that the Plan Commission and Town Board approve.
Yet that, before the rezoning would be approved,
No, it's conditioned on, it would not be approved unless
unless he came
the
forward?
two bodies approve the site plan of operation.
Is this only, according to where this reads it, would be only for a portion of the property that would be rezoned? Not the entire property, because the county has authority in a large portion of it.
And you can't change the environmental corridors,
Right.
the high
Or
groundwaters.
the high groundwater, or the navigable stream that's on the property
Right.
supposedly.
Does that leave him enough land to do what he's
Yeah.
asking to do?
Well, it's a big
It sure
parcel.
looks crowded and junky over there right
He
now.
won't worry,
Hmm?
that won't bother him.
Well, it won't bother him, but it'll bother me. I don't know all over there.
I know.
Yeah, it's, you're not approving a site plan now, you're just
Just approving
reproving
the rezone.
the B3.
rezone, B3, that's all we're approving.
Sharon, did I understand you right? The rezone is not effective unless his plan of operations approved? Okay, so we're not just unconditionally approving the, oh,
That was my question, okay.
okay.
That was the plan, that was Supervisor / Commissioner Jeff Millie's motion,
Okay,
that it be
good.
approved with that caveat.
Okay.
Well, it looks like he's still going ahead and working. Oh,
Doesn't make a bit of.
Well, that would be my question. We've had complaints in the
Yeah.
past where people say, why didn't you tell me up front you weren't gonna approve anything?
Well, he knows this, and
I'll tell them up front, I'm not.
he's coming in Wednesday with his site plan, he's on the
He
plan,
is?
and you'll be at that meeting also. next Wednesday.
That's a joint meeting.
Okay. I hate to see them waste time and energy.
So I'll make the same motion to approve the rezoning request with the same
Condition?
conditions.
I'm gonna abstain.
Well, Bill wants to second it? You want to second it, Bill?
I'll second it based upon, oh, for discussion.
Yeah.
Okay, it's for discussion.
Been moved in second in discussion?
So, based upon what Karen said, I'd be comfortable because contingent upon us approving, well, I don't know how much input we'll get, but the county and the town board approving the plan of operation, which is huge.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just wondering, so if this occupant now, this tenant, up and pulls out, we haven't acted on anything officially, we get someone coming in new, it's still reverting back to the RD5 zoning, correct?
The zoning will not be changed unless the Plan Commission and Town Board approve the site plan of operation for this specific use. The motion, Supervisor Millie's motion says, the rezone shall not be in full force and effect until such time the petitioner applies and receives approval of a site plan of operation for an operation for a full-service lawn care, landscaping, snow removal, tree removal business, and assorted storage and processing of firewood on the subject property by the Plan Commission and the staff of the Waukesha County. So Supervisor Millie's locked it in.
That's excellent. So what I was concerned about, can or don't we have to, and you answered that, I guess. I just thought we had to act on the zoning as A and then have a plan of operation as B.
That's right. And you will.
We can tie the two together.
Absolutely.
Good, super.
Supervisor Millies did that in his motion, sir.
How long will it take approximately for the rezoning to go through? Because it has to go through the county too.
Yep.
It can't go through the county until the town board, a plan commission, yes. So,
How long, because he's still continuing to operate a business
Oh,
over
yeah,
there.
big time.
You know, that's why, you know, it,
probably February, the earliest would be February. Because it's December now, it's gotta go to their staff, it's gotta go to Loopy, it's gotta go to their plan commission, that goes to the county board, it's gotta go through.
I ain't happy with him operating a business outside of the parameters of a rezoning, you know. We've had trouble with this guy, he just doesn't wanna abide by the rules.
That's why I'd have a lot of trouble approving this later on. And I don't wanna put them through the expense of doing all this stuff and then go up to the board later and have us say, listen, you've been nothing but trouble to this point, you've made all these promises and failed on them from day one. And you sat in front of us here with this big spiel that didn't explain anything. And now we're supposed to go ahead and give you a building permit for something we didn't want to see there to start with. I mean, it looks like terrible.
That's why Mr. Millie's tied that in with it.
Yeah. Well, Jeff tied it up pretty.
Wednesday night, we'll see what.
He's got-
It says, the rezone shall not be in full force.
I guess what I'm saying is I
and
don't care
in
what his plan is.
until such time as the petitioner
I don't believe him, I don't trust
applies
him, we don't
for it.
need another one of those. We got a couple right now that don't follow through.
But that's not the issue, the
But
issue is
that's not the
rezone.
issue.
Yeah,
Wednesday is the issue,
Wednesday.
Wednesdays it's the
Right.
issue.
Okay.
Put his feet to the fire on Wednesday.
I don't know if you can put them in.
Jeff made the motion, Bill seconded.
Bill seconded it. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay, me. Yeah, like the car deal.
Yeah.
Item E, response to the Wisconsin Historical Society letter of October 24th, Dodgers Corners. All right. This is the cemetery, draft of it. They want to know, you know, you look at these whereases in this form here, and there's paperwork dated for 1993, the 4th of January 93. And it says that no person shall intentionally cause or permit the disturbance of a catalog burial site without the permit from the director of the State Historical Society. I don't think these people ever got permission from the Historical Society to put that road over that, into that cemetery lane.
No.
And I don't know, you know, this letter says that they wanna not catalog that as cemetery,
Yeah.
but how do you know there's nobody buried there?
Yeah.
They're asking for us to send a letter, aren't they?
How we
Within 30
gonna know?
days or something?
Yeah, but how are we gonna know?
We don't know.
We'll just assume there's somebody buried there, and they'd have to prove it different if they wanna do that. I don't know, Tom, what's the right way to approach that?
That kind of like John's
We know why they did it.
comment.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
want
we-
it,
we
you
just-
know, they want it, and that's it. And they don't wanna move that driveway.
Yep.
I've got a copy of the state statute I pulled out, and I'd like our attorney to look at it because it pretty clearly states that you have no right to any type of adverse possession claim against the municipality, city, village, town, or state. There are a few exceptions in there, and that's where it gets a little hazy. So I'd like our attorney, and I've got a copy in my mess here somewhere, I'd like our attorney to have a look at that, because this attorney may be way off base with his claim that there's an easement right automatically given.
Is it,
Well, he was-
real estate preservation, or? is
I don't
it-
care what anybody says, he's paid to say that he's working for them.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they'll say whatever you want,
And let's face
I
it,
don't care who he is.
someone's running a little scared because what are they gonna do with an encroachment? They got an illegal access to their property. And the adverse possession laws have changed the last few years.
Oh, really?
It used to be you file a claim, you cut your neighbor's grass for 20 years, it's yours if you claim it.
Yeah.
It's not that way anymore.
Yeah.
It's a more of a gray area.
What statute?
That will make a copy of, I got such a mess here, I apologize. Here it is, right over here in the corner.
Well, we got,
So I don't
I
know, Karen, if
see.
we could do a copy of this. I've got 3 pages of the statute here. But it'd be interesting to hear the attorney response.
well, Karen sent to
The state.
the state here, says a letter sent to Chairman Berg was sent, identifying the area of the cataloging of the site, the catalog area seems to incorporate a non-cemetery portion of the parcel and human graves are not present. She's assuming that.
Yeah.
Catalog area seems to incorporate. Well, how do we know or don't know?
So
I don't know.
That statute, we could say, okay, let's assume, what if the town owned that cemetery and that roadway? Here's the statute that says
We got
you
that.
cannot get adverse possession.
Pretty
from it.
much says we do.
I don't see how these people at the state level, Historical Society, can assume that nobody's buried there.
Right. That's just an assumption that they're making.
But did you look what they fall under, the ASP, or SPS?
Don't bring that up.
No, it's the
Yeah.
same group.
Yeah.
That's about it, yeah.
They turned the cemetery over to Big Ben, so.
Well, gentlemen, that's why this is on the agenda. What do you want to do with this hog?
It says we need to respond within 60 days. Well,
Yeah, the attorney's saying let them finish with the court case and they'll do something.
Yeah.
Is that too late? I don't know.
the court could decide, the
Maybe-
town board could decide the municipal lawsuit's been filed.
Should Tom maybe
John's
call
comments.
Macy and find out if we need to react to something now, or if we can bring this up later on with that statute?
Well, I
you're
think
talking
we
about?
should tell him to read that statute and get his opinion on
No, put
because
the
they're-
law in it, there, in my opinion.
it. Yeah. But the first line of that statute
Yeah,
basically says if you're a town, village, city, any form of government, no one can claim adverse possession. And he's claiming what they call prescriptive easement, which means they've used it for more than 20 years. therefore we have a right to continue
Yeah.
using it.
Yeah.
And then we're supposed to sign some easement, giving him forever right, and we don't even have a record of owning it. And it looks like he's basing his opinion on, have we been getting all the mail correspondence regarding that parcel or something?
And can you, no,
He
no,
talks in his summons somewhere about, since the town has been
we're not talking about the summons, you're talking about the archaeological, the letter from the,
The state.
the, yeah,
Yeah.
I understand. Right. Okay.
So, what do you wanna do with this? Madam Clerk, you contacted the insurance company, correct?
not about this archaeological letter.
No, about the attorney fees and, correct?
About the summons and complaint, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that in closed session, 'cause that's on the closed session. I think right now, we do nothing.
Well, that's what information suggests, but,
Yeah.
like Bill said, maybe we just let him read that and see what his feedback is.
Well, we can talk about we've got that on the,
Yeah, that's part of the closed session.
that Ryan and Sherilyn summons and complaint in the closed session, so. All right, I'll make a motion that we do nothing.
Second?
We can talk about it more in closed session.
Yeah, hold it over.
Yeah.
All those in favor, we can always come out of closed session. All those in favor? I'll put it on the next agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Do we have to take these contracts one at a time, or can we do them all together?
Well, what I did is I did not contact any other people yet, okay? Just for the reason of, our ordinance about negotiating with people. Okay, what I put these in here for was to have you guys review them and see if there was anything that jumped out at you or that you wanted to talk about on these contracts to change or bring up. That's what this is. This is more of
Okay.
a courtesy to use, to see the contracts again, to bring them in front to review them, and to give me the authority to talk to these guys and then negotiate with them if they want something. And then we'll bring it back. I'll bring it back on the 20th. I think that's,
Yes, that's
yeah,
right.
the 20th. And then we can go through them one by one. So this is more for, a review for the board.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you've seen it last year or what we did, or
No,
what,
I've seen
how we did that last year, but I thought it'd be good for you guys to just take a look at them and see what they are. So there's really, there's no action to be taken on that, it's just, we have the DPW director, the fire chief, the building inspector, and the assessor.
Mm-hmm.
These four contracts that gotta get done before the first of the year. Okay? Okay.
Do you want comments back by the next time on any of these contracts, or?
If we could get them back by the middle of next week or
Okay.
whatever.
I found a couple, well, make comments on, maybe I'd talk to Sharon, clarification of language.
So I will be talking with these guys. And if there's anything they wanna bring back or change or whatever, I'll bring it back to the board.
Okay.
Okay. Item G, clerk and rec directors request to void invoices for 757, 4751, and 4640. Madam Clerk.
As you can see, the information that was on the invoice, two were duplicate entries, and one was the rec director had requested that the person that was charged that late fee be waived because if that person didn't come forward, they wouldn't have had a team, a basketball team.
Coach, right?
Yes, he was a coach, so he's asking for that. And we automatically put that on without, when somebody comes in with a late invoice, we automatically put that on, not knowing he was so that's why that was requested. Two were duplicates and one was a request from the rec director. So for our ordinance, if there's any changes or voiding of an invoice, it has to come to the town board for the town board's approval.
If there's no discussion, I'd make a motion to accept the clerk and rec director's request to void 4757, 4751, and 4760.
I'll second it. Been moved and seconded, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Authorize town chairman to sign the Jan King contract for cleaning services, Madam Clerk.
I have no idea how long it's been since the floors and carpets have been cleaned. At least, at a minimum from 2013, nothing's been done. So the request is to have the floors actually stripped and waxed and then the carpets cleaned. It's in the budget to have it done, but obviously it's a contract, so we bring it forth to the town board and request the town board to approve it and authorize the town chairman to sign that contract.
So they're gonna do this and down the hall, and then they're gonna do the office,
Yes.
all the offices?
This,
Tile?
yeah, any,
What are they gonna
Right.
do with yours? Yours doesn't?
mine
need it?
doesn't, no, mine doesn't need it.
For $695.89. Where do
Oh,
we carpet?
That's the down
Carpets
payment.
in the building inspector, John's office, and the deputies.
Is the carpet worth even cleaning?
Oh.
Or should it just be ripped out and,
Oh,
Which one's that?
we cleaned it once and it smelled like dead fish.
well,
Huh?
I would
that's what
say,
I'm asking. What's in your office?
I actually took some of the VAC flooring out of there and just floored part of it, just to go over the carpet, but, I mean, it's just,
Is it pay to clean it?
I don't know if it
That's what
does.
I'm saying, I'm thinking that that's pretty,
It could be
winter's
infested.
coming, the guys are gonna
Burn it.
have days that they could be, like they did with Karen's, they ripped it out and they put that rubber
Yeah.
floor down.
Flooring down.
Yeah, mine was full of mold though from it, the furnace
Well, there may
leaking.
be some in-
Well, I wouldn't doubt this has some mold on it too.
Well, mine
Mold
was-
in the walls and everything.
My office flooded 3 times.
Oh,
Flooded
Yeah,
and dried,
from the
flooded and dried.
Furnace room, I think, didn't it?
Yeah.
So the bathrooms have tile floors.
you think it'd be,
So
more
it'd
beneficial
be,
We don't have to have the carpet. I'm just more worried about the,
the hall
Yeah,
here?
yeah, so if you just approve the tile flooring, that would be fine.
But even the clerk's office, I think, or, that one probably could be cleaned, but the other two, like mine and Vince's, I don't.
Yeah, are
think
pretty,
I wouldn't waste the time on it.
Actually, that's pretty reasonable.
yeah, I think it is.
So based on that, I would make a motion to authorize the chairman to sign the Jan King contract for cleaning services in the amount of $695.89. I think it's worthwhile.
Could you make a,
Skip the 2 offices.
friendly amendment to that, to skip the 2 offices and a revised quote?
Oh, yeah.
well, you know what we'll do is just, if you don't mind, I'll just have her redo and bring it back. There's no rush.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yours is pretty bad, John?
Vince's isn't.
I
So
actually
do you
never
wanna
looked at it
read,
before when I
you
went
wanna
there,
remake that?
Yeah,
Danny?
yeah, friendly amendment to do that, remove,
Get a new
add
quote.
those two. add John's and remove yours? Is that
Just
what
to
we're doing?
authorize the clerk just to get a new quote.
Yeah, right,
change
yeah,
it,
go ahead.
Minus those
Authorize
two
Karen to get a
Okay.
new quote.
There you
And
go.
bring it back.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
As long as machines are close to time out here.
That's what we're hoping.
Item I, Lorraine Dashick, Treasurer, request to discuss mileage reimbursement and town board concerns. Treasurer. Lorraine? You wanna come up and,
And can I have my document back?
Let's do, oh. No, here we go.
Thank you.
Well, I think my biggest question
I can't hear.
is, what was wrong with the mileage request that I submitted? I don't understand what was wrong.
Still couldn't hear.
Yeah.
What's wrong with the request for what?
With the mileage.
what was wrong with the mileage request
Oh.
that she submitted?
Well, I can tell you what triggered it. I looked at this a couple times and all of a sudden I see one way only. I'm sure I saw it before, I just never caught it before. So when I saw that, I went back and I started looking at things. I looked at what the mileage used to be charged at. And all of a sudden it's a different mileage. So when I looked at all this, I thought, well, there's only one way to verify it. I went out and ran. Tracked it and showed exactly what the mileage is, doing it the way it should be done, for one trip. Not back and forth from down by you up and back. And I cataloged that. And then I went and I found out that we had been overpaying for how many years? I don't know, September to something, as I mentioned on the document. So I recalculated the figures based on where we're at with actual mileage and came up with a number that says this is what it should have been. And as I mentioned in my email, my question to you is, you changed the mileage at some point to almost half of what you had before, but did you ever go back and suggest maybe a payment back to the town for all the extra mileage that was charged? And if not, why not?
I adjusted that mileage at your request. I did that to be accommodating.
No, you did that to be honest, because that's the actual mileage, Lorraine,
Well,
isn't it?
you know, when I started, I was told very firmly that that was the trip to the Vernon branch to make my deposit. I just did
Are
what I was
you-
told.
Are you questioning the mileage I showed you on my document?
I am charging from the town to the bank. That
The
is
town hall to
all
the
that I
bank?
made, yes, to the Vernon branch.
I explained very carefully, there's two different mileages. From here to your house, taking Edgewood is 1 mile, and from here to Citizens Bank to down by your road is a different, by half a mile. So when I calculated it, I said, okay, let's assume that being the treasurer, you're gonna do the best for us you can, mileage-wise. So you're gonna come up Edgewood to the work, and you're gonna go back on National, which gets you right to the bank, and then you go home. You don't go to yours and then back up and back, doubling. So that's how I laid it out for you.
Well, that's
And if you
very
debate
nice
that,
of you.
I'll be happy to open up to any
just,
suggestion you have, but that's the mileage.
I guess I just didn't ever think anybody would be nitpicking that close, but if that is what the mileage
It is.
is that what you would like me to charge?
No, that is what it is. That's not what I like you to charge.
How can
Yeah,
I
that's what I'd like
please
you
the
to charge,
board?
'cause that's what it is.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do to please this board.
Well, no, I'm going back to the original question. You accepted somebody's word that the mileage should be something? Is that what you said?
I was told how to charge for that mileage to make my deposits. I just
What
did
what
that.
were you told, you know?
Yes, it was 7.2 miles.
So somebody gave you that mileage.
That's what was being charged before I was. the
Who was
treasurer,
that
yes.
person?
That was Sandy and
Oh,
Bree.
no. She lives in a different place than you do. And if she charged on the way home, that's wrong too. But I can see where 7 miles comes up that way. It's not the same for you, you understand that, right? When you said, are you entitled to get paid for your mileage? Yes, you are. According to the IRS, no. It's in a mileage on the way home. But,
I think you just need to make a motion.
I want an answer to the first question.
What is the question?
Why did you come back and say, hey, you know, I corrected the mileage based on what you told me,
I did correct the mileage.
but I never paid you back for
made
anything?
issue.
Where's the money for the 7.2 all those years?
Well, if you did not like that mileage that I submitted for, you should
I
have
never checked up on
objected
you
at the
before.
time. Well, then you should have done your
Oh,
job then.
I should check up on your mileage.
If you don't approve, this board approved my mileage. This board approves lots of mileage for this town.
Until we looked into it.
And I can show you that you have approvals for mileage, and there's nothing showing where the person went.
You know, I guess the key to that is we trusted you.
Well,
And maybe that was wrong. Because you were given bad information, you used that bad information, and we paid the price for it, we being the taxpayers. And I don't think that's correct.
well, Supervisor Moline, there is a budget for the town treasurer set by the residents. They approved budget. There's mileage money in there for the town treasurer.
Yeah, they didn't approve it, the mileage over what you actually use. Do you agree with that? It wasn't approved based on, you know, incorrect mileage. It was based on the fact, yeah, we'll pay her some mileage, but not any mileage. That's all I'm getting to. And I asked you to look it up.
You said your piece, and I've said mine. I don't know what else.
Yeah, you said yours, I won't get into that right now. But I was gonna let this whole thing pretty much slide, other than I wanted to get this in so we could start approving these APs again. Because I'm not gonna pay it based on what it was. It's wrong. We can't charge the town for something that's incorrect, knowingly. And I didn't know it before this. So if you're asking me to catch everything's wrong, no, I missed it. Honestly, I missed it. But should I have had to? No.
Why am I being singled out?
You're being singled out because I caught that when I saw one way only. That's the only reason I looked at it.
And have you looked at all of mileage for everyone?
No.
Well, I think you should.
Well, too bad. You don't tell me how I gotta do my job. But I'll tell you what, you should have been honest from the start with this mileage bid. That's all I'm
I
saying.
did not do anything dishonest. I was.
We did, because when you found out your mileage was wrong and you agreed to it and changed it, you never came back and said, hey, I've been overcharging all this time,
I did that at the request of the board,
to correct it.
to change it to just from the town to the bank.
Where
I
did you
did
think
that.
you were able to charge from?
Where do you think I should charge from?
The IRS, I gave you a copy of it. We don't even need to debate that
The
anymore.
IRS does not set any rules and regulations as far as,
I gave it to you.
that didn't come off the IRS website.
You want to bet?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna debate that in public here.
I looked through.
But I
the
gave you a
IRS
copy
website.
of it. You can look at the actual computer websites and follow them step by step by step. You call me a fibber. I don't fib. That one is per that site, and if you claim it's not that site, you don't know how to use a computer, ma'am.
Well, then I
So use it. It's right there, black and white. I don't know how to do any better than that for you.
What do you want? What do you want?
All right, we have, I'm gonna just interject in here, the Town of Vernon reimbursement policy for elected officials, appointed officials and town employees. It covers mileage. Covers employees will be reimbursed for mileage incurred while performing official town business. Elected officials will not be reimbursed for mileage. Item C on mileage, employees will not be reimbursed for mileage incurred during, to or from the town hall for work. All mileage should be documented showing it, then set and current mileage rates used by the IRS. So, what do you wanna do with this, gentlemen? I've heard enough.
I want to do what I did in the document. I laid it out.
Okay?
I haven't gone back all the way on, when it was at 7.2 or whatever it was. But we can. That's not a problem, I think.
Gentlemen, anybody got any comments?
I just had, oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, back when we were
paying for 7.2, we were paying round trip, and we changed it and asked for only one way.
Jeff, you don't pay round trip.
That's why we changed it to one way.
It was never changed. If the IRS,
That's why she's got the mileage cut in half these last few months.
no, she wasn't supposed to be charging it one way. The fact that somebody told her that and she didn't do anything to check it, that's not my problem. She should have followed the rules like everybody else. It's the law.
Okay, well, I guess I disagree with the law, because according to you, the law says she has to leave here, go to the bank, come back from the bank,
No,
straight here.
no, I didn't say that. Read the document.
Well, that's what you're saying, 'cause you're saying it's gotta be a round trip thing, it can't be one way.
She works, she comes to work, and she comes up Edgewood. That's the way she always comes, apparently. She comes from here to the bank on National. Shortest way to get back to her house from the bank. So she goes from here to the bank. Now, she's entitled to charge from the bank down to, what's the name of the road down here? Guthrie. That's where she's gotta turn anyway, to go home. And the IRS says you're not allowed to charge it from your home to work and work to home. Matter of fact, you shouldn't be charging her for stopping at the bank. But I give her that, because that's what our policy said. I went back and apologized, because I said I wasn't aware of the policy. But you keep saying I don't have the IRS document.
You
are wrong.
You are quoting if you are a personal, if you are deducting mileage on your personal income taxes, that's
No.
what you're quoting.
I'm quoting it like I used to
IRS
travel 50% of my life, and I had expense accounts, and that's what the IRS allowed.
But the IRS does not dictate to businesses or government entities that they have to reimburse mileage at all. The IRS does not mandate that. They don't set the rules.
No, but if you're gonna,
You're
excuse me,
quoting
they do if you,
charging an expense on your personal income taxes. That's what you're quoting.
no, it's used by companies or your personal, well, you can't do both. You can go either your personal income tax or the town.
Well, I don't
But both
deduct
you have to show
mileage
the
on
same
my
documents.
personal income taxes. This, what you're quoting doesn't apply to me.
You know, I'm not gonna sit and debate this. I gave you all the documentation. You called me a fibber for the documentation. I've given it to you on the website. I'm not gonna debate that, but please don't use that language on me anymore, because I did document it for you. I don't tell things I can't substantiate. That's what that document is. If you don't know how to use it, you gotta find somebody who knows how to use computers and walk you right through it.
All right, what do you wanna do with this, gentlemen?
I think we should approve mileage from here to the Citizens Bank, one way, whatever that distance we agree upon is, she's reimbursed for that mileage running to the bank.
That's what's documented. Did you look at the document? That's what it says. But it leaves open an issue of what happened to all the monies that were charged back from the 7.2.
Well, that's another issue.
You wanna break it into
Let's
two?
let's break it into two so we know what we're doing here. Gary, what do you think?
I don't have a problem with what Jeff says. That's, she's entitled to mileage going from, if she's going to the bank for the town, she's entitled to mileage, as far as I'm concerned, from here. Not from home, but from here.
And I'm not disputing that.
Ed, you're okay with that?
Well, not from here to the bank, because she has to drive from here that way anyway, from the bank to Guthrie. That's the trip that's extra.
No.
Plus a half a mile difference between here and Edgewood.
Yeah, but she's going from here to the bank.
She has to go from here home. The only difference is the bank to Guthrie.
Yeah. Well,
You're not allowed to charge from here to home.
oh, no, I know that.
Well, you're trying to if you go from here to the bank and then home, or here to the bank.
From here to the bank,
Well, here to the bank's more mileage than what I gave her for. So, decide what you want. I spelled this out pretty clearly, guys, in that document. Took a lot of time to put that together and make sure.
Well, the other option is she goes from here to the
Perfect.
bank and drives back here and charges the town double mileage, then goes home.
She has no reason to come back here.
Well,
I will be
justify the
perfectly
mileage.
willing to do that, if that will make you happy.
And that's gonna cost the town more money, so that's kinda stupid to go that route.
You know what? I don't care what you do with it. Apparently there's a dispute about how I'm handling this, and I gave you all the documentation, showed you how it was figured out. If you wanna charge it a different way, you guys get together with Lorraine and do it. Whatever you think is right.
What do you think, Bill? What's your?
Well, I had two questions. I agree with Jeff and Ed's statement as far as a remedy. But I'm questioning why there are so many multiple dates from September last year to December, where it looks like the mileage was 2 trips per day.
All right, well,
What would there be 2
all right,
trips?
I was going in the morning to collect the collections that the bank collects. Because I'm trying to expedite these receipts and get all of these entries into the Banyan system as quickly as I can. There's a lot. I don't think you guys realize how many tax bills there are and how much time it takes. So I try to get this moving as quickly as I can, get the residents their receipts. So I would pick up what the bank collected the day before, and then we would work on them when I got back to the office here. That's why I was making 2. I've stopped that now at your request when you disputed that last time, that you thought I was making too many trips. So the taxpayers are the losers here. They're the ones that are gonna wait longer for their receipts.
What a day?
These people like their receipts. They wanna know their taxes are paid.
If they come here, you give them a receipt right away, right?
That's right.
If they go to the bank, they get a receipt right away from the bank, don't
They
they?
get something, they don't get the official receipt, and it's not going to make it on the county website until I can put it in the Banyan system. We do get phone calls. People are concerned. If they don't find it on the county website, they start calling.
Like I say, I documented it the best I could, went through based on conversations, and the fact that I rejected them that one time. I couldn't verify why it was one time, and I'm done.
Courthouse settlement, that's in here a couple of times, Marion. What is that all about?
Well,
Courthouse?
we have to pay the settlement to the school district, and the county gets a settlement. So that's, you have to go to the courthouse, you pay it directly to the treasurer there, and it's a big check, so I hand deliver it. And again, that was the policy that was in place when I started, because these checks are so big, they're over $1 million. Hand deliver them, that way they don't get lost in the mail. There's a deadline, they have to be
You notice I
paid.
didn't deduct those, because I had no idea what they were there for. I questioned it. I said, if there's a valid reason, who's gonna argue with it, you know? It's a valid reason, $1 million check, I'll give it to you. So I wasn't trying to be unfair, I was just trying to be accurate. And I'm accurate, trust me.
I'd like to hear a motion from Ed.
I'm not gonna make
You're
one.
not gonna make one?
No. I provided a little documentation, I'm sitting here listening to people argue because they haven't read it. Or don't understand it, one of the two. So I think I'll let that motion be made by someone else, they can deal with it.
What are you gonna do, John?
Well, I would move that the reimbursement be based upon travel from the town hall to the bank, period, one way. And then if Lorraine chooses to come back here or go home, whatever. But my understanding with my job as well has always been, if I go from home to McGuanago, back home, and then here, I just use no legal mileage deduction. If I go to my office, then I go to McGuanago on business, that's a deduction. And I think that's what Ed is coming up with. And that's.
No, what I'm coming up with is from here to the bank to her house.
No, I understand. Really, from here to the bank is business, from the bank to home is not.
No, from here to the bank is the same as driving home if you don't stop at the bank, except for that extra piece, which I said, if you go from the bank to, why can't I remember the name of the road down there? If you go from the bank to Guthrie, that's the allowable mileage. That's the only difference in mileage between coming to work and going home. That's it. So there's plenty of little extra mileage. That's it. Now, if you want to go from here to there, it's a bigger mileage. That's what I say. I'm done.
Yeah.
I provided the documentation. I could draw you a map, but I'm done. You guys decide what you want to do with it. The document's there.
What's your motion, Bill?
My motion is to be reimbursing for mileage from the town hall to the bank, period. One way.
Is there a second?
You'll have to go back and change all your mileage things again.
I'll second that.
Oh, wait a minute. What are you saying? Why do I have to change it? Are you approving what I
He
submitted?
just gave you more mileage. From National Citizens, you get 3.3. What'd you have, 3 point? No, I'm sorry, that's less. He gave you 3.3, you were getting 3.6. You lost 0.3 of a mile, I guess.
Jeff, you second that?
The 3.3 to 3.6.
3.3.
What is it, Bill? What are you giving her?
I'm gonna use my mileage as documented right there?
Yeah, 3.3, yeah.
Where's that clock that again?
3.3.
Okay, I'd go with 3.3.
Is that part of the motion?
Yes, I'll make that part of the motion. Based upon a distance of 3.3 miles.
That way Lorraine will know. All right. It's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? No more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Me.
Me.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Lorraine is 3.3.
Submit a new, mileage.
Okay. Item J, authorize the town attorney to represent the town of Vernon in the lien summons and complaint. That's, the one I wanted to bring up. Do we want to go into closed session and then come back into open session and talk about, have a chance to talk about this and then, do it? Come back and, if we, want to have Mert Macy, approve us,
I'd like to
or-
talk about it in closed session
Okay,
first.
we'll just, leave that one open. Alright. Correspondence and announcements. I have none. Jeff?
I have nothing, but I was just text saying this is not being broadcast on channel 25 right now.
It's what?
That's
No,
good.
it's not being broadcast.
Why not? How can you tell?
Somebody must have
Because-
texted him.
Someone just texted me saying it's not on TV, are we done?
Oh.
Well, they
That's why I
they
don't
can-
have, I don't have.
can
text.
watch it on Friday, because it's recorded.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
on YouTube also. They can watch it live and they can watch it replay on YouTube.
Okay. If Jeff didn't have anything else, I had just the same thing, we handled a couple of, residents' complaints regarding, violations of ordinance. Karen was real reactive and I contacted her while she was in Florida of all places because I needed a letter sent out right away. Because this, resident was very insistent that this person, and they sent letters to the sheriff's department. Matter of fact, I got a call from the sheriff's department in regard to this. They wanted to know what we could do about it. And, I indicated to them that we would handle it, and it had to do with a violation of our town ordinance. And Karen was well enough, good enough that she called back. We got a letter out right away that same day to appease this individual. People have to understand that government moves slowly. You know, sometimes it doesn't work like one day, the next, you call in a complaint today, it gets handled the next day. That's not the way it works. It has a process to go through. So this was handled, and it is no longer a problem. And I want to thank Karen for taking care of it for us, working in conjunction with her and her office. And the other complaint was also turned over to Vince, and that's in the process now of being worked through the chain of command and how it's going to be handled. So, other than that, that's about it, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Ed?
The only thing I have is an announcement. We got word from the fire department, they'll be doing a burn Sunday at 8 o'clock. Does that work with your dirt yet, or?
Yeah, I think we'll be okay. It's supposed to warm up this weekend, so I'm gonna haul a little bit of that fill out.
You will
We haven't filled yet?
have to go to church Saturday night then.
So anybody interested, that's gonna be going on.
Are they providing cake and coffee?
Bring your own weenies.
Hot dogs maybe,
Bring
yeah.
it. Marshmallow.
You know, marshmallows.
You putting on your yellow raincoat and?
No, I'll watch it from the parking lot.
That's all I had.
Bill?
No, I've got nothing.
John?
I've got nothing, just my report if you want.
Just
Oh, and correspondence, Karen, you got
I don't-
anything?
I don't have correspondence. I have
John,
reports,
you
but-
got, your report?
Yeah.
I have one question, John. We had talked in regard to that stop sign up on Center. I went past there the other day, it's not working. I'm just wondering, looking at it at the top, it's got snow all on the, is that causing an effect?
No, I actually ordered batteries for all 4 of those.
Also, it's a
last
battery
week.
you think are going
Yeah,
on?
when I talked to the guy from the sign company, he's like, yep, it's the batteries. It says right on the side of them, you're supposed to replace those batteries every 18 months.
Oh,
And they're not cheap, they're $90-something a piece.
yeah? Yeah, how much?
$90-something a piece.
Wowee.
So I'm not gonna replace them until they go bad, but
No,
I'm
I'm
gonna have
blaming
some.
you. No,
But I
that's
did
fine.
order them.
I
got
thought
'em.
maybe there was a problem with the sign itself. with
No.
The sun, because we haven't had a lot of sun, I thought, well, there wasn't enough solar to
Yeah.
activate the sign.
We-
Because it's staying, it's red and it's not flashing
We
at all.
tried to adjust that a little bit, and he says it's the battery.
Okay, very
Pretty
good,
much-
that's all I, thank you, I appreciate it,
Yeah.
because I've had a couple of people ask me, what's wrong with the sign?
I've had numerous people call me on it.
So they aren't paying attention
I
to
said, you
it.
still have to stop for it just because it's not flashing.
Okay, thanks, John.
So, our wood chips are gone. I gotta, tally up our totals for that yet, so we just got rid of the last ones last week here, so we're done with the wood chip pile there. Snow removal, we had 5 events in November. 2 were pretty much just salt runs, the other ones were plowing and salt. Everything went pretty well. Regarding that, I've been mentioning to you guys about this whole salt brine reducing the salt issue. I got a letter from the Southeast Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission. They want to start monitoring what we're using. They're doing a chloride impact study on the whole southeast region of the state. So they're going to start monitoring water, taking water samples and checking chloride, comparing them to the amount of salt that's put on the roads at that time of the year. So they're going to be doing it. So
We might be ahead of the curve there.
yeah, so I just wanted to bring that up because I think that's been coming down the pipe for a while, and I think it's gonna get a little more aggressive.
I think the state ought to put some grants out to push that along, because that's a.
Well, now I talked to a guy this morning, Washington County, bought, anti-icing setup like we did, and a brine maker, and they got all, state-funded money to pay for that.
There was.
The county did, yeah, so, and they're pushing Rock County, the DNR was down there, talked to their guys for, Rock County, for the freeway, they're trying to experiment with an all brine, route, with no granules, just on the freeway, just,
Wow.
so.
You might call Paul and put it in his ear, you know, county.
They're getting serious about monitoring the salt, I think, so, it's,
It's gotta be good for your time.
you know, so, not, this other brine stuff, it doesn't work as well as the granules, so I don't know how far it's gonna go as far as what to, but they're keeping an eye on it, is what I'm saying, so it's coming. I mean,
When
it's
do
just-
you proceed to have the new brine tank? It's,
I'm hoping still by January, so, he's gonna try and bill it to us this year yet, so, and there is some money in the capital fund for that.
mhm.
Did you get a big delivery of salt?
I had 200 tons
Yeah,
in
but
November.
we got a bill through
Yeah.
for that.
That's part of what I ordered for the
The
season.
part order,
yes.
Brian,
Yep,
okay.
yep.
Wango.
And some brine, yeah, I got some brine from them also. The bridge inspections were completed, I got the review, did you get a hold of those?
Yeah.
I forwarded it to him.
Okay, yeah, so we've been cleaning out the brush and stuff on those end walls, working on those, getting those cleared out, finished, wrapping up the signage. The ratings really didn't go down much, that superstructure, I think went down one on Fox River, it dropped
Yeah,
one.
from a 5 to 4.
A 6 to a 5, I think
6
that's
to
what
a
it was,
5.
yeah, so, but if we get down to that 4 range, that's when we can start looking
I
for.
thought it was 3. 3, we could start going to the
Maybe it was,
feds for
Yeah.
funding.
yeah, so we got time yet, obviously, it's didn't change much, I mean, but,
Yeah.
and then epoxy and the painting, we won't be able to do till the weather gets a little better, but I'm working on it right now, getting that brush cleared out, we're working on those, so.
We can hire somebody.
The streetlights, I had that list of the streetlights for the town. I found 2 of them that are technically in Big Ben's jurisdiction now. One at Guthrie Lane, and then the one at Sherry and 164. So
Yeah, tell them to take them down.
Karen was gonna call We Energies and
I
have them
contacted him.
correct their
We'll watch
billing.
the bill.
Take him off.
So
Once you get adjusted.
I said, well, definitely are not ours, so, and then she was gonna contact.
Yep,
Big
yeah.
Ben paid for 'em.
So, but,
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
and then,
This is for-
Tom and I were talking about, we'll have to talk to Andy Schultz about getting some kind of a booklet together regarding the Skyline,
Oh,
Skyline
for
Center.
damage.
Center Drive, yeah, so we can get that out for bids.
Yeah.
So
What we'll do, John, is, so the people know what's going on here, we'll put that, Madam Clerk, on the 20th agenda,
Mm-hmm.
so we can authorize John to, and talk about it, to get the engineer to get a booklet, so when we put roads, we can put that part of that road out for bid too, and kinda be ready
Yeah.
when the spring thaw comes, that we can get in there and do that.
See what's really there.
Yeah. I don't know, John, can you call bus companies, see what kind of bus routes go on there? Because I think that would, if we shut that road down, we have, bus travel, bus traffic,
the one
whatever, we may
advantage
not-
we have we got Longview on the bottom, on the west, and same with going to the east.
Yeah, you can just block the driveway.
So
right?
they can
Skyline
get,
down.
they can get around, it's gonna be a, kind of a pain for them, right, but, it's.
Well, I'm just saying, we'll have to determine when we'll be able to shut that road down, and maybe after school is out, so there's no bus traffic
Yeah.
or kid traffic or whatever
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, if it's a summertime thing, that would be
Yeah.
ideal.
Is Crowbar open yet?
Yes, they opened it last week, Friday was their last,
Okay,
they picked all
good.
the signs up and everything, so.
But that'll be on the 20th agenda, Madam Clerk?
Yes.
Put that on there.
And you want the bid specs for, that's what you want on the agenda, bid specs for?
Well,
Senator-
so we can talk about it as a town board.
Okay.
so.
Okay.
John, I noticed some of the stop signs now, they got the reflective tape on them.
Yeah.
On the poles,
Yeah, is that a special pole or just tape you guys add?
I added that just as a tape. They sell an actual plastic
Yeah.
piece that bolts onto it, but it's the same thing. It's just a piece you put the reflective tape on. So I said, well, why waste the money on that? Just put the reflective the tape on the pole. It's the same with tape,
Yeah, they really stand out at night when you're.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I actually told them guys, I'd like to try I just did experimenting to see if it made a difference.
Yeah.
And now if you drive around more and more, you'll see more of that,
Yeah.
but they're buying those plastic pieces that you actually bolt on. Well, it's,
Cold weather, bang, they crack.
yeah, and I'm not sold
And they
on
get stolen.
wasting the money
Yeah, they
on
get stolen.
that. It's just the reflective
They have
tape.
recycle value, you care.
Yeah, I
Oh, they
I
will.
like to go to a round pole with tape on versus that odd shaped one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
They really are effective,
They
yeah,
are.
because
it gets your attention,
there's a intersection on Lawndale Road and double X, they got them all four, and boy, you can see them from
Yeah.
the way then.
I thought Santa Claus was coming to see the striped pole.
I thought it was a candy cane.
It does jump out though, it really does nice.
Yeah, they also have these, spinners that they've been using now.
On top?
On top, yeah, just to kind of draw your attention. But we didn't get that
Get
far yet.
people's attention.
But
That's only when it's windy.
yeah, hopefully the wind's blowing.
Put your cell phone down, we'd be in good shape.
Anything else, John?
No, that's pretty much all I got.
Madam Clerk?
Very briefly, I just want to thank the residents that have brought in the donations for the veterans, and would encourage people to please bring any type of the items that were listed in the newsletter. They're greatly needed by the homeless vets and very much appreciated. Also, I want to let the public know that I talked to the county, and the tax bill should go up on the county's website tomorrow, and then once they do that, we'll put them on our website also. And then the deadline for the next newsletter is December 14th, so all articles have to be on the 14th, and that's all I have.
Okay. Finance, accounts payable dated December 6th.
The only updates I wanted to let the board know is the Costco bill for $189.18. That check has to be voided because if we would have mailed the check, I couldn't have used the Costco card for the town's Christmas party, so I paid that by credit card, so that would be a void. We're also voiding check number 64873 because it's going to be resubmitted. And then Supervisor Craig found that the Cummings bill has tax on it in the amount, so we have to reduce it by $428.05. So I just,
I didn't see that.
But you said you took care of that already, right?
yeah, we've got the information in.
Yeah, I missed that. I usually check all the tax the first thing.
I can get you a free cup of coffee.
So what would the new number be, Madam Clerk, for the batch 2018-1206?
93. It is deducting the $189.18 and the $96.03 and the $428.05 gives you a total of $93,475.88.
Karen, I just have one more question. It was on check 64891, municipal law and litigation. We kept re-adding the numbers. I'm coming up $30 short. I'm coming up with 720865 instead of 723865. So if someone can tell me if I'm missing something, let's check 64891.
What's your question, Bill?
He can't up
I'm
the
coming
bill.
up $30 less. So if someone can see if I need a math error in there.
What are you adding, Bill? I mean,
Okay, I'm just looking for that right now.
Here's the whole, the bill itself. Municipal
Yeah,
law.
but I would have had a marking on my copy. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, Okay, so I was adding, Karen, 864.40, 528.80, and 58.15.45.
Well, 528.80 is a chargeback, so the chargebacks of, oh, it is, look at that, chargeback is 528, and mine says it is $30 off. So that one has to be redone also. Do you see that? 588. So the new total is $93,445.88. And that check would have to be redone, taking that $30 off.
93,435.88?
93,445.88.
Oh, 445, okay. I move that we approve batch 2018-1206 in the amount of $93,445.88.
Is there a second?
Sorry, Karen, I missed.
No, I'm glad you found that.
one earlier. I got such a mess here, I don't know.
I gotta make sure that we didn't charge them an extra $30 on their, on their bill.
Is there a second?
Go ahead.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Who do you have making that, Jeff?
Jeff, yes. Oh, no, Ed, yeah, Jeff said Ed.
Ed?
I have Ed.
Manual checks, we have one, correct, Madam Clerk? Two.
We have the $200 from the Capital One that was done a couple weeks ago, and then the 770777 for the building inspector.
$79.07 and 77 cents.
I'll make a motion to approve manual check.
So moved. Second.
Got it, Gary.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Minutes. You need that.
Sure. Did you sign it?
I didn't second it. Town board minutes.
Where's my packet?
From 15.
Make motion to approve.
I'll second it if Bill hasn't found any mistakes.
He's still looking.
Karen, one question, do you have any idea if the December 12th meeting is still on? Is it the 12th, 18th, I'm sorry?
19th is canceled.
Is this
The
canceled?
one wouldn't go on ago? Was that the 19th?
19th, that's canceled.
Okay.
Has it been rescheduled yet or not?
You're gonna act on the 20th
It's on the 20th now?
at your board
We got a
meeting.
regular town board meeting.
Okay. Can I
At a
move it that
regular-
night?
at a regular town board meeting. You'd be on the agenda.
Right before Santa comes.
He ain't gonna make it, I shot him.
So it's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Next meeting date will be town board will be December 20th, 2018, 6 p.m. I got a request from a constituent that the meeting should be held earlier because they can't stay awake.
Are they talking about the town board, or are
Yes.
they talking about us?
The town board, they would like to see them at 5:30.
Oh,
And I said, well,
I,
I said, I will see what type of
no.
review we get from that.
We got guys that work.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Show up for work. Yep, and Bill.
Doesn't even give you time to make dinner and get home and eat.
Well, I said I'd bring it up. Okay. Public comments. Any public comments? No record show, any public comments? Record shows no public comments. Motion to go into closed session. Motion to go into closed session pursuant to 19.85 Pren 1, Pren G, conferring with legal counsel for the governing body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is likely to become involved, more specifically Lucklow Link annexation with the village, and Ryan and Sherry Lynn with the cemetery, including the closed session will be town board, town clerk, and town attorney if we need to by phone. Motion will require a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, I'm making a motion to go into closed session. Is there a second?
Second.
Chairman Thomas Byrd,
Yes.
Supervisor Jeff Millies,
Yes.
Supervisor Gary Wilde,
Yes.
Supervisor Ed Moline,
Yes.
Supervisor Bill Craig.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll note for the record that your board voted unanimously by voice vote to go into closed session.
Okay, we go into closed session at 7:31.
Sign this stuff?
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
We're gonna talk about it in closed
Thanks.
session.
I think how much.
Let me just get everything shut
You
down.
guys wanna take a little break here?
We went, well,
Go to the bathroom? No, she didn't mean that. We were falling asleep.
Oh.
She was falling
Thanks.
asleep.
She was
There
beautiful.
was no action anymore.
It's too bad we should even have these.
Says it's pretty boring.